So Iran just played a move that could change everything in the nuclear game, and most people are sleeping on it because the war, after all, is over. Only the sharp and the invested will stick around for what's to come next, the economics, the logistics, the diplomatic dance. Let's get into it. Iran's parliament just approved a bill to suspend cooperation with the UN nuclear watchdog, the atomic agency, IAEA, that I mentioned. The international agency that's supposed to monitor nuclear programs worldwide. But of course, not Israel. Don't be silly. But here's what mainstream media isn't telling you about why this actually matters, what Iran's parliament is doing. The Iranian cooperation suspension. Why did I struggle to say that? The attacks by Israel and the US, starting June 13th, which Netanyahu called, quote, a historic victory. I don't know from what angle, maybe from the Iranian angle. And Trump claimed they obliterated Iran's nuclear program. Those were not successful, right? The attacks actually were not successful. Factually, I'm not being pro-Iranian, I'm being analytical. The evidence overwhelmingly shows, intelligence reports show, news outlets show, facts on the ground strongly suggest the strikes only set Iran back in terms of the less critical technology that was flattened on the surface, right? Of Fordow, of Natanz, of Isfahan, there's a lot of damage. So, heating, ventilation equipment, centrifuge production, a lot of things were damaged. The shocking truth, though, for better or worse, is Israel and the US failed to destroy the core nuclear capabilities buried deep within the mountain bases in Iran. Zagros, Alborz, mountain ranges, the Persian Himalayas, basically, can't reach them. They built them. The Iranians built those bases that deep down because the Iranians know that in conflict their skies are compromised. I'll make a video about Iran's lacking air power, why and how it may be about to modernize with China's help. So stick around for that. Now that's got Israel worried as well. But back to this topic. Iranian's President Masoud Pezeshkian declared this 12-day war a great victory for Iran. Both sides are calling it a victory. Now you can tell. Netanyahu thinks it's a great victory. Trump thinks it's a great victory. Pezeshkian says it's a great victory, right? Or the Iranian officials generally say it's a great victory. But diplomatically speaking, how this conflict ended is known as a white peace. And that means effectively the victory is for the defender, which in this case is Iran. How is getting bombed a victory, you might ask? Well, because Iran just proved it can survive the West's best shot, and now they're using that survival to justify their next power move. Here's where it is. The NPT, the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, allows any country to withdraw with just 3 months' notice if, quote, extraordinary events have jeopardized the supreme interests of its country, end quote. Iranian parliamentarians are already preparing a bill to withdraw from the NPT entirely. It's mad, right? It's crazy. Not in a particularly bad way, but analytically, it's crazy how this is developing. It's this non-West nation trying to calmly play by the rules and turn the rules written by the West against the West, saying, we will stay within the framework you built, which you, by the way, can't do. You always step out of the framework when it suits you, but we'll stay in the framework and pursue the legal means to our objectives. Once Iran exits the NPT, you see, they would no longer be bound by the requirements, including the IAEA oversight. They wouldn't be diplomatically bound. There would be no treaty obligations on the diplomatic world stage. Nuclear transparency obligations, not needed. Commitment to not building nuclear bombs, not needed if you leave the NPT agreement. They would, in effect, be where Israel's been for years, for decades, right? This would make it technically legal under international law for Iran to pursue nuclear weapons development. For better or worse, right? I'm just giving you the facts. North Korea did exactly this in 2003. They withdrew from the NPT, and 3 years later, the world saw them test their first nuclear weapon, 2006. And after that, have you heard of America trying to threaten to invade North Korea? Has North Korea had any bombing campaigns against them? No, because America thinks, okay, this nutter state somehow got nukes. I don't want to do anything, so they decide to, blow off some steam by dropping something hot on Los Angeles. No thanks. That sounds very unhealthy for my citizenry. Right? So Iran's thinking it's time to nuke up. The only language, as I said in previous videos, the only language, Iran's blueprint says, the only language the West understands is the language of strength. right? You can't be reasonable. You can't try to de-escalate. You'll just have the other side escalate. But if you punch them hard enough back, a bully normally shies away, glass cannon style, right? They can dish it, but they can't take it, right? So that's the Iranian sort of understanding, or it was the understanding, but it's been confirmed now. They had the capabilities, they used the capabilities, they tanked out these 12 days. They're in a better position as a result. Analytically speaking, the geostrategic positioning of Iran is superior to what it was before June 30th. And the reverse is true for Israel. Now, we just mentioned North Korea. That's North Korea, vastly smaller and economically weaker than Iran. Just to give you an idea of the economics. The GDP of the DPRK, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, which is North Korea's official name, 25 billion, guys. 25 billion, that's their GDP. Keep that in mind, right? Iran's GDP? Bro, hold my Persian tea. 460 billion. 460, well, far beyond 10 times more, right? The West thought they were containing Israel's nuclear ambitions, Iran's nuclear ambitions through bombing campaigns, through the initiation when Israel took a gamble on June 13th, the preemptive strikes. Israel took a gamble, but its gambit failed. They had to sign a ceasefire, and now Iran has the window of opportunity that they look to be positioning themselves to use to the max, right? The West may have just handed Iran the perfect justification to go nuclear legally. Talk about, the opposite effect of what you intended. That's the price, though, Israel pays on the diplomatic stage for their failed gambit. Legal acquisition of nukes by their arch rival is now a very valid possibility. The last bastion to Israeli domination in the region, Iran, they just got stronger. In one of my upcoming videos, I'll discuss if Iran already has the nuke and how they might reveal it. Spoiler, they might withdraw from the NPT after about 3 months, say, whoop, wow, look at that, we made a breakthrough. Whoa, turns out I've got nukes, guys. Oh, God. And I'll mention the economic impact of this war on both countries, Israel and Iran, and the likely economics moving forward. I've got a live at 6 p.m. today, UK time, so tune in if you're free. That's half an hour after what it was yesterday. I'm just trying different times to see what works for loads of people. And I'm just organizing the subscribers so that they can ask questions in a way I don't miss them. And actually everyone, by the way, not saying you have to subscribe to ask questions. So I'm working on trying to organize my chat, maybe get some moderators so that I can actually answer some questions during some slots during the half an hour or 1 hour live. And finally, I'll be posting my content, I've got an announcement, to Instagram. As well. So if you have anyone you want to send my stuff to, or you want to consume my content not on TikTok, because TikTok, you might not be happy with TikTok. I don't, for example, scroll on TikTok. I just post on TikTok and get the hell out. So my home will remain on TikTok currently. And by the way, that's not me hating on anyone who likes TikTok, but I find it quite, well, it is built to be addicting. So unless you're consuming useful stuff on here, I don't advise it. So I will remain on TikTok as my home platform, but Instagram will have all the videos I post here on there moving forward. The handle is Muffles Talukta. And if the subtitles just said Muffles, not my name, it finally got it right. On Instagram, I'm actually Muffles Talukta. For the unbiased news and analysis without the Western spin, I thank you all for your continued support. I'm Muffles, and I'll see you on the next one.